I feel like filming the intros for this podcast is always the cringiest part for me because I never know how to start the episode. I just did like a fucking 5-minute rant where I was just saying, hello, welcome back, today's episode. And it just wasn't hitting. But welcome back to another episode of Sadia's podcast. This episode is going to be my favorite episode that I've done so far. I can already feel it. I'm going to love this episode. You're going to love this episode. As you can already tell by the title of this episode, I am beefing the protecting your peace warriors, the people that have started this movement of protecting your peace and just knowing your worth. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that initially, but I am beefing them because they have ruined my life. They really have. Protecting my peace has destroyed my life, and we're going to talk about that today. But before we get into the episode, I've been getting a lot of comments recently on TikTok asking me about the podcast. Where's the podcast? You haven't uploaded, even after I've already uploaded. So I just want to remind you guys, if you're on YouTube right now, remember to like and subscribe. It makes it easier for you to see when I upload new episodes. If you're on Spotify, follow the show and you'll get notified. So if you're not doing that already, do that. It just makes it easier to find the episodes. And I've been getting a lot of these comments recently and I was doubting myself. I'm like, did I not upload? And I went back and I checked them like, wait, the episodes are there. But it seems like people are having a hard time. I've also linked it on my TikTok bio. If you guys are on my TikTok page, it's going to be easier. But let's get into today's episode. Actually, before we get into the episode, I was on TikTok today and I was scrolling and I came across one of my favorite TikTokers. I don't know if you guys have seen this guy that does Chuck Bass edits where he makes fun of Chuck Bass and just everything that Chuck Bass used to do on Gossip Girl. If you watch Gossip Girl, I'm pretty sure you've come across this guy on your For You page. He's so funny. And there's always this one song that's playing in the background. Tell me that you saw it. Turn around. And he just makes fun of Chuck Bass because Chuck Bass was so cringe. I was crying of laughter. He's that guy. Every time he comes across my For You page, I'm like because, and it just made me realize I have always been a Chuck Bass hater. When I used to watch Gossip Girl, I never fell for the Chuck Bass, like a mystery, like whatever he was trying to sell, I wasn't buying it. But even when I was like 12 years old, I was like, this man is embarrassing and cringe. Every time Chuck Bass was at the screen, first of all, I could never hear him. I'm like, what are you saying? Every time he was speaking, I'm like, why are you whispering? It got to the point where I couldn't even watch the show anymore. Like, he was ruining Gossip Girl for me. That's how much I hate Chuck Bass. But it's about time. It's about time we start calling out Chuck Bass. Why was he such a weirdo? And why were people obsessed with him? That's another thing. I never understood. Like, I never got the appeal with Chuck Bass. With the other guys, I'm like, I get it. With Nate specifically, I was a Nate girl. I was obsessed with him when I was 12, 13, 14. I was very young watching that show. I don't know why I was watching because even though it was like a teen show, it wasn't really a teen show. But Chuck Bass, that man used to irritate me. It was, first of all, it was just the way he used to just move. Like the way he was just always moving around. I'm like, what is this? It's so, he used to piss me the fuck off. And I'm glad we're finally calling him out. It's about time because Chuck Bass, you ruined Gossip Girl. And I didn't really get why Blair was obsessed with him. In fact, I thought Blair was a loser because she wanted Chuck Bass because he was so he was just such a loser. You know what I mean? Why are you 15 years old wearing a tuxedo, drinking tequila, talking about shareholder? Like, it was just, I'm like, this is not making sense, right? You cannot trick me, right? I may be 13 years old watching this, but this is a scam and I see through the scam. Whatever you're trying to do, like, he just wasn't good at whatever he was trying to portray. And I think because the actor is British, he was trying to do an American accent, but I think because he didn't want people to know that he was British, I think maybe he was bad at doing the accent. That's why he was whispering. I truly believe that's why he was whispering. I think he actually couldn't do an American accent. That's why every time Chuck Bass was on the screen, it's like, I was gonna say Blair. I'm like, what did he say? I'm like, what did he say? It was always just never ending whispers and just movements and just, it would cringe. Chuck Bass was fucking cringe. And it's about time we talked about it. But actually, I could get into a whole Gossip Girl deep dive. I want to talk about so many different shows. I want to start watching, actually, you know what I want to start watching? I want to start watching Desperate Housewives. I tried watching it, I think it was like a year ago. I watched it for a few episodes and then I stopped. I don't even know why I stopped because it was a really good show, but I want to get back into it and I want to do like weekly updates to let you guys know how far along like I've come, because that show has been on my like bucket list of shows to watch for a very long time. But for some reason, I just every time I start, I just never get into it. But one show that I have tried watching that I will never get into is Sex and the City. I love the vibes. I love the New York vibes. I love just the fashion. I love everything, but it's the characters. I don't relate to any of them. I don't get it. Like it just pisses me. Every time I watch it, I'm like, why is this show so fucking popular? I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just one of those things that's just never made sense to me. How is that show so big? But then again, I understand why it's big. I understand the whole, like the aesthetics, the vibes, like, you know what I mean? Like I get that aspect of it. But the characters are just so annoying. And then I remember me and my friend one day, I asked her, I'm like, so what happens? And she told me everything that happens. Like she spoiled everything for me because I was like, I'm not going to watch this. Just let me know. I was gagged. I was like, what do you mean? Every character just ends up having a horrible life. None of them ends up winning. I think Charlotte ends up winning because she gets with a guy who's somewhat decent. That's the bar is in hell. But maybe I need to give it a second, actually not even second. I need to give it like a third, fourth try and see if I can get into it. But Desperate Housewives, I really want to watch Desperate Housewives. And because I'm going to be watching, because I feel like everybody else has already watched it, I want to share my thoughts. I feel like my friends have already watched it. They're going to be like, whatever, like, girl, it's been years. So I want to get into it now so I can start sharing with you guys. So let me know if you guys want that. If you guys want me to come back weekly and let you guys know what I'm watching. Because I have so many opinions. And I could just yap away for hours and hours and hours. Right now I'm binging Better Call Saul. It's a spin-off of Breaking Bad. I think it's so much better than Breaking Bad. It's such a good show. I'm on the last 2 seasons and I am excited to do things in the day. You know that feeling when you have a show that it's just so good that you're just excited to just be done with what you're doing for the day. And I'm like, I am looking forward to being in my bed tonight and just binging and just finishing it. And I want to savor it. I want it to like last for as long as possible, but it's so good. I think I have like 10, 11 episodes. I don't want it to end. It's so good. That's the best feeling in the world. Oh my God, I remember when I used to binge watch shows and I would just go to school or go to work and then I would just be excited to come back home because I know I have that one show that I'm just gonna demolish. It was just the best. I don't think there's a feeling in this world as good as knowing you just have a nice bingeable TV show. But that's what I'm looking forward to this winter because there's nothing else to do. It's fucking cold and depressing. This is the ghetto. We're in the trenches. I can't wait for summer. I can't wait for winter to be done. Winter is just not for me. Before I get into my beef with the Protecting Your Peace warriors, you know who I hate? The people who say they love winter. I've been attacking these people, this community for the longest time because I just feel, I know it's not their fault that winter exists. Somehow it feels like it is though, because I have been depressed the past 2 weeks because it's been raining nonstop. We haven't even had snow. It's December and I never ever thought that I would be in a position where now I'm asking for the snow. I'm begging for the snow because it's been raining and it's so gloomy. There's no sunlight. At least with the snow, there's a bit of sunlight. There's nothing. And they were talking about these outfits they were going to be showing us, or the aesthetic, whatever the fuck they were saying. All they did during the summer was whine about how they cannot wait until it's getting cold and it's so cozy and I can wear my cute clothes. I have yet to see somebody wearing cute clothes. Everybody's ugly. How about that? I hate your winter clothes. They don't look nice. I don't like your autumn clothes. Everybody looks ugly because it's raining and it's dark and we can't even see the outfits. What do you mean you want to look cute? We can't see it. I don't know what color your coat is because it's dark. But when it's summer, everybody looks pretty because it's sunny and everybody's just happy and smiling and we can actually see what you're wearing. I'm beefing these people like they created winter, but it's just every time somebody says they can't wait, that's the one that gets me, is when people say they can't wait for winter. I'm like, why are you cursing us? I just feel like because of their spirit, they make winter come quicker. You know what I mean? Like they make it happen. You know what I hate the most is when people that say they love winter and when you ask them, okay, so what are you going to do during winter? Like, what's your favorite winter activity? They're like, I just like being at home. It's so cozy. Being at home? You're not even going to go outside and enjoy this weather that you prayed for, that you cursed us with. You're going to stay indoors. At least when I say I love summer, I like being outside, right? Go outside and enjoy the snow and the rain. Sit outside. Go be cozy outside. You can't, can you? I feel like it just doesn't make sense. What do you mean you love winter? But when I ask you, what do you like to do during winter? You're like, I just love being indoors. Like that makes no sense. That makes no sense. It means you don't love winter. You just want to be inside your house. Okay, then just be indoors during the summer. Just be indoors all year. How about that? There's been a movement the last few years about protecting your peace and just setting boundaries and cutting off people who are not, good for you in your life. And it's been a big movement. Like everybody's been talking about it, right? And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, protecting my peace. I'm like, I want to get into it, right? I'm like cutting off people who are not good for me. And I did that, right? And whatever, like it wasn't just cutting off people. It was more of just like setting boundaries and just like knowing your worth. You have to know your worth. And when something's not serving you, it's always like when something is not serving you, you remove it from your life. And I agree to a certain extent, but what they don't tell you is once you've done that, once you've protected your peace, right? Your life is boring. That's what they don't tell you. Your life sucks. There's nothing fun left, right? Protecting your peace also means being boring as fuck. But that's how they get you, right? Because at the beginning, you don't realize that protecting your peace is actually going to make you want to kill yourself. But before that, right, you're listening to me like, yeah, I need to protect my peace. I need to set boundaries. I need to, get my shit together. Once they have you, right? Once you're in it, you look around and you're like, wait, this sucks. Like this actually fucking sucks. And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but honestly, to a certain extent, I feel like it's true. Because I think like the last year, I decided I'm going to make some changes in my life. And for me, it wasn't necessarily even cutting people out of my life, even though like eventually people just started, leaving because I started having stronger boundaries. But for me, it was different because I feel like mine was extreme. I feel like I had to do those things because I needed to just focus on myself and just change as a person. But then I think halfway through, I was like, wait, I actually like being around toxic people sometimes, not always, sometimes. Okay, this might be such a crazy unpopular opinion, but when people say protect your peace and they tell you to cut off toxic people or just people around you who are not serving you, right? They don't realize that having toxic people in your life sometimes, not even sometimes, is fucking fun. That's the part that nobody tells you. Because when you remove the toxicity, right? What are you left with? Boring people, right? That's the thing. You're left, not even boring people, you're just left with a boring life. And it's not just people, right? It's a combination of everything, right? It's the phone, right? It's doom scrolling. It's going out with people who are not serving you. People who are a little bit toxic, right? Because I feel like we all know people who are just a little bit toxic. I'm not talking about crazy people. Like when I say toxic, by the way, I don't mean actually crazy people who are just bad for you. I mean somebody who's just a little bit toxic, right? You just know that this person, like there's something a bit off. But then again, we're all human. We're all a bit toxic, right? Because everybody has that one toxic friend or coworker or classmate that you're like, okay, they're a bit weird, but at the end of the day, they're fun. You know what I mean? I like being around them. Like they're not serving me, whatever the fuck that means, but they're still like, I like being around them. But once you start protecting your peace, then it's like, okay, damn, like now I've cut off all the fucking fun people. Like what am I left with? But I will say maybe I took it too far. I took it too far because not only did I stop associating with just people around me that I just felt like were not good for me, I also started removing things from my life that were fun, right? Like even going out during the weekends, I'll be like, no, I don't want to do that. I would rather just focus on myself and just figure things out. And I'm just like, I'm going to start journaling. Oh my God, that's another thing. Journaling. Everybody's always whining about journaling, which is good, I guess. But once you combine everything, right? Once you're like, okay, I'm going to remove these people. I'm going to stop doom scrolling. I'm going to stop watching. Oh my God, I even stopped watching TV shows at one point because I was trying to just live a more fulfilling life. But then I was like, wait, what even is the point of being alive if I'm not doing anything fun? Right? If I'm not going out with people, if I am just constantly trying to improve my life, and if I notice anything that's a distraction, and I'm like, okay, then you're out. Like immediately, I would just be like, okay, this thing is distracting me. I need to remove it from my life. I know somebody's probably listening to this and they're like, well, that's not their fault. They never said to do that. I know, but I have to blame somebody. But like, I'm not gonna blame myself. You know what I mean? Why would I blame myself for that? Obviously, I have to blame the people that were spreading this propaganda that was protecting your peace. They didn't tell you that you're not supposed to protect all of it. You're supposed to protect some of it, like maybe like 65%. I think that's what they should have said. Protect 65% of your peace. The rest, you don't really need to protect it. Like whatever, like who, like unprotected, who actually gives a fuck, right? They should have said that because I took it too far. And it ruined my life. You know what I realized? That I protected my peace too much, right? Like I should have stopped at like, I don't know, 60%, that I went way too far. There was a day I was having a conversation with, I think it was a coworker. And the more I talked to them, I was listening to myself and I was like, oh my God, I sound so fucking boring right now. Cause they were asking me like, what are you going to do later today? And I was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to prepare for this thing that I want to do, like this project, and I also want to do this. And they were like, okay, what about the weekend? I'm like, well, actually during the weekend I'm going to do this, and nothing was fun. Everything I was talking about was some way related to improving my life, and it wasn't about just living life, right? It was always a plan. I was like, who the fuck is this person? I was like, why are you so fucking boring? And I never used to be like this. I was always, and not to be, braggy, but I was a fucking vibe. When I was not protecting my peace, I was so fun. I used to bring the life to the party, right? Like everywhere I went, I was just spreading toxicity. I'm kidding. Okay, I'm kidding. Not toxicity, but I was the life of the party. And then one day I was like, I'm done. I need to stop this. And I just decided to just become this boring person who talks about goals and aspirations, vision boards. I didn't recognize myself anymore. I was like, who is this person? Who's this boring person? And what happened to the fun Sadia who didn't give a fuck about vision boards and journaling and going to the gym, right? And doing yoga in that. Okay, I don't actually do yoga. That's a lie. I was like, I'm just trying to make myself sound way more, productive than I actually am. I have never done yoga in my life. What even is yoga? Is it the people that just sit around? Wait, is yoga and meditation the same thing, or is that different? Anyways, whatever. I've never done yoga. I was also going to pretend like I do Pilates. I've never done Pilates. I have never done Pilates. I went to a Pilates class one time. It was like a few months ago. I was like, I'm going to try a Pilates class. And you guys, this was the worst experience. It was the worst experience of my life. I think I decided that day I'm never going to go back to Pilates because it was not the worst experience, but it was pretty embarrassing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try Pilates one day. I sign up and it said like something about like hot Pilates. And in my head, I was like, okay, hot Pilates. I feel like I kind of skimmed over that part, right? I was like, yeah, whatever, but it says Pilates, right? Read over quickly the description, signed up, right? It had like, I think 8 people. I didn't think there was going to be any men there because you could see the people that are going to be there. And it was just a bunch of girls. I was like, okay, cool. And then I looked at the instructor. The instructor was also a girl. I was like, this is perfect. So I show up to this Pilates studio. As soon as I walk in, I'm like, first of all, I came I didn't even come late. I was like, I think I came like 5 minutes before the class started. So as soon as I walk in, every spot in the back was taken. It was only the front that was left. And usually the front is for people who know what they're doing. I didn't even know what the fuck Pilates was. And then as soon as I walked in, I'm like, why is this this room so fucking hot? As soon as I walked in, it just felt like I was in hell. I was in actual hell. And I was like, okay, this is a bit off. And then I looked to the front and I'm like, this can't get worse, right? Because now I'm sweating, right? The back spots are all taken. Now I have to be at the front with the instructor, even though I don't even know what I'm doing. Then the instructor walks in and it's a man. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? A man? Which, again, it's one of those things where it's like, why would a man be there? And I know even though he's the instructor, the name was a female name. I swear to God, it was like a female name. And when I came, it was a man. But maybe I just assumed it was, but it was like, that was not a man. That was like the name that I read didn't sound like a man's name. But then I walk in Now it's a man. I'm boiling because I think what I signed up for was like something called inferred hot Pilates. It was like some weird, I don't even know what the fuck it was. Now I set up my little mats, right? I'm sitting down and I'm thinking to myself, okay, it can't get worse, right? Because at the beginning I was like, okay, maybe I'm gonna take off my hijab if it's a female, right? Because it's gonna be fine. If it's a woman, like I don't care, I'll take off my hijab. It's a man, so I'm like, okay, I can't even take off the hijab. But I was like, it is what it is, right? I'm gonna do the yoga with the hijab, even though I'm boiling, right? Everybody's already sweating. It was like 5 minutes in, I'm already sweating. The beginning, he's telling us what to do, and it's going great. It's going great. I'm like, okay, this is pretty easy. It's not that hard. I don't know what the fuck happens in like the 5 minute mark, and he just switches up and he starts doing things that I was flabbergasted. I was like, what the fuck is this? It was so hard. And not to mention the fact that it was so hot. Like the whole I was boiling and I was wearing the scarf, right? Which just made it a billion times worse. So I'm dripping in sweat, right? I'm at the front so the instructor can see me. Like I'm the first person that he sees. Every time I would make a mistake, I could just see he was side-eyeing me and I was so embarrassed. And I was just looking behind me and everybody knew what they were doing. Because again, I've never done this before. It was the first time ever. So I just kept on telling myself, okay, I think it was like a 45-minute class, which again, I don't know why I picked 45 minutes. Should have done like 20 minutes max. But the longer it went on, it was the worst experience of my life. But I think the part that killed me was like, I think halfway through, because the instructor was going around and whenever he would see people and they were, let's say like you had to lift up your leg, I don't know, like whatever. And then he would go around and help people. Like if he sees your leg is a bit lower, he would like lift it up for you. In my head, I was thinking, first of all, don't touch me because I'm already embarrassed. And as soon as he walked past me, I think he realized that I was so bad that he didn't even know what to do. Like I was fighting for my life so much that I think he just tried and then he looked at me and then I looked at him and he was just like, no, he just walked away. That for some reason just made things so much worse for me because it just made the whole experience 10 times more embarrassing. He was like, there's no hope. It's like, there's with this one, there's no even point trying anything. I think like 5 minutes before the class ended, this girl like randomly got up and left. I think she had to be somewhere. And I was like, wait, I have free will. I can get up and leave. That's when it hit me. I was like, wait, why am I struggling? I could just get out of this fucking class. So I just got up and then I left with her. I was like, peace out. And I never went back. But I think I might try Pilates again. But yeah, I'm never going to do like a hot Pilates or something like that ever again. It was an experience. But back to how protecting my peace ruined my life. I think I realized the moment where I started scheduling fun things where I would have to be like, okay, in 2 weeks from now, I can do this one fun thing. Like I can do this dinner with friends in 2 weeks. And then I would think about it. I'd be like, okay, but do I though? That's when I was like, oh my God, the capitalist propaganda has worked on me. I am a whore for capitalism. It has me. Like it actually got me. Because what do you mean I am scheduling to have fun? I am in 3 weeks, I'm going to do this one fun thing and then I'm going to go back to hustling. What? Like who the fuck is this? Back in the day, all I knew was fun. Like my whole life was just fun. Every day I'm like, how am I going to have fun today? Right? And maybe that was actually the other extreme where I just never took anything seriously. In my head, I used to just feel like life was supposed to be fun. And then in between, I would have to do like annoying things that I have to do. You know what I mean? Like 5 minutes out of the day, I'm like, okay, I have to be productive for like 5 minutes. That was my mindset. I would go to work and I'm like, okay, I'm done with that. And then I'm like, okay, now I just can have fun, right? If I don't have work, I'm just living my best life. If I come back from school, I'm just binge watching a show. I had no structure. And because of that, I thought to myself, okay, I need to go on the complete other side of that and just start hustling and getting my shit together. And I feel like to a certain extent, it worked for me because I think the past year has been one of the best years of my life, I could say. Not that I'm saying that this works. It does, kind of. Listen to me, though. Listen to me. I'm not wrong. I'm never wrong. I'm always right. Just know that if you listen to this podcast, you have to know that I'm always right. I'm never wrong. Somebody's going to listen to this and they're going to think that I'm being serious. But I don't care. I'm always right. I have never in my life been wrong about anything ever. And everybody in my life knows this. But yeah, so I decided to go on the other extreme and it was working and it was going great. Like I said, I think this year has been one of the best years of my life. I've done so much more work and just things that I just would never see myself doing. Because before I was very chaotic, undiagnosed ADHD crackhead. I would just go just with the vibes, and I just never did anything. I just never thought of the bigger picture. I just never cared. So I decided to protect my peace, and then I realized that actually I'm just being a whore for capitalism, and I'm just not fun anymore. I want to be fun. So I've decided I'm going to start unprotecting my peace, right? I'm going to start just creating chaos for myself a little bit, because I need that. I need to have fun. And if you're listening to this episode today, I want you to join me. Okay. I want to start this movement. We're going to call it the Unprotecting Our Peace movement. And the first thing we're going to do is, if anybody offers you drugs, right? Like any hardcore drugs, like heroin, coke, whatever it is, meth, you take it. Take the drugs, right? Just quit your job, drop out of university. Let's stop being boring. That's what I'm trying to get at. Let's just have more fun. No, but seriously, I've decided that I genuinely want to just start having more fun in my life, because I don't know, this is something that I thought about the other day, where I was about to go to sleep and I was thinking about the day that I had planned. It wasn't even just the day, I was thinking about the week that I had planned. And every single thing that I had planned had to do with either work or my other work, right? I have 2 jobs, right? So it was just both of the jobs, and there was nothing fun for me to do. The only fun that I had was either being on my phone. That was like the fun that I look forward to. That was it. And I would try to lie to myself that working out was fun, but working out is not fun. Working out is fucking miserable. I hate working out. And I'm so envious of people who say that they, get like a runner's high. When people say they get a runner's high, I just feel like it's like this inside joke. You know what I mean? It's like it just feels like somebody is lying. Everybody's lying. Because what do you mean when you're running, you get a runner's high? What? Whatever. It just feels like this inside joke that I'm not a part of, because I've yet to experience it, but maybe I will one day. I'm still figuring things out. I still don't know how to fully unprotect my peace. I still don't have all the answers. And if you guys have any, actually let me know, right? Because I definitely want to have a balance where I do fun things and I live my life and I get stuff done, right? Where I don't just focus on working myself and just being such a boring bitch. Because when you have nothing interesting going on, and when you don't do fun things, you're not an interesting person. Even an interesting person to talk to. I feel like, me personally, I feel like I'm always going to be an interesting person because it's just who I am. I just feel like I'm just naturally that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I don't have to actually do interesting things to be interesting. I'm just very talented like that. But I still need those experiences, right? I feel like I still need to do fun things to even make me more interesting, because I'm already at let's say a 90% level. I still want to get to that 100%, right? I still need that extra boost, right? But I've realized recently that I've been losing, as the kids say, aura points, the more I focus on work and not doing anything fun. Because whenever I talk to people, I'm just whining about just stupid things, right? Just don't make sense, that only a certain group of people would be interested in, which is great. I feel like people that are into self-improvement, self-development, I love those people too. But you need a balance. And that's what I'm trying to get at, right? So join me and let's unprotect our pieces together. So yeah, if you're like me and you relate to this and protecting your peace has made you the most boring person alive, let me know in the comments. And if you have any suggestions and tips for me, let me know. I need to start being a bit more crazy. Maybe I'm going to go to the store today and I'm just going to steal something, just to spice things up in my life. Because my life has been very boring recently. So if I go to the grocery store and I steal a bag, maybe. One time I actually got caught stealing a bag. It was so embarrassing. I went to my local grocery store because I'm sorry, I'm not paying for a fucking bag. I'm not paying for a bag at the grocery store. What? Especially at the self-checkout, I'm not paying. I am not paying. What are you going to do? Arrest me? Okay, arrest me. Arrest me. This is so funny. I was doing this for months at my local grocery store. Not even months. I would say years. I never paid for the bag. I would go to the self-checkout. Why am I paying for a bag? This fucking big-ass evil corporation is already robbing me, because I know these products are probably overpriced anyways. So I was I'm not going to pay for the bag. I'm not going to pay for a fucking plastic bag when there's billionaires that are always on planes, 30-minute plane rides. And I have to pay fucking 6 kronor for it's very unnecessary, very unnecessary. So I was doing this for a very long time, And one day, the guy who was working there, because sometimes they come around and they check, he saw me. I was putting everything in the bag, and you know what he did? He did the worst possible thing that he could do in that. So he didn't even confront me. He didn't say like, "Hey, you didn't pay for the bag." He just came to me, looked at me, looked at the products, looked at the bag, and then he just like sighed, like he just like shaked his head, and then he looked he looked at the screen, tapped the screen, like canceled the order, added the bag, and he just gave me another look and just walked away. I was so embarrassed because that was the worst possible thing. Like he basically just called me broke, right? I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I thought about that for a week. I was planning my revenge. I'm like, how am I going to get back at that guy for embarrassing me like that? But then again, it was my fault because I was the one who was paying for the bag. But I don't care. I'm not going to pay for a fucking bag. Like, yeah, you got me this one time, but next time I'm not paying either. But you know what's funny? It actually ended up kind of working because every time I go to that grocery store, I always pay for the bag now. I always pay for the bag because I don't want that guy or anybody else to ever do that to me again. That's how embarrassing it was. But yeah, maybe I'm going to steal something bigger, right? Because a bag, whatever, it's nothing. Can steal like, I don't know, like a loaf of bread just to spice things up. Be a kleptomaniac. Maybe that's going to be my new thing. Is I'm going to be a klepto. I'm going to start robbing people. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you're enjoying these episodes, make sure to follow me on Spotify, follow the show on Spotify, like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I upload next time. And it's going to be easier for you to find the episodes. Thank you so much for listening as usual, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.